2012 Honda Civic. Front brake pads and rotors. First you need to do is jack it up and support it properly. Remove your front tires. Lug nuts are 19 millimeter. Then you need to remove your caliper. The caliper is held on by two caliper bolts, one here and one there. And they are 12 millimeter head. That's what they look like. And you need to pull off your caliper, set it off to the side. Get me a hanger. Get me a hanger. Give me a J hook. Hold on. Okay, I got me a little hanger, a J hook. All right. And next, you need to remove is your caliper bracket. It's held on with two 17 millimeter bolts on the backside. One here and one here. This is what they look like, 17 millimeter heads, okay? Take off the bracket. See, my brake pads ain't worn that bad, but they're making a lot of noise, sound like they're grinding. All right, so you need to inspect your slides, make sure they're not frozen. If they're frozen, then you need to take them out and clean them up, or replace the caliper assembly with the brackets. But these aren't frozen, so I'm going to take these out and clean them up and put some new Sil Glide on the pins and put them back in. And also, remove your pads. You need to remove the hardware. And you need to clean underneath them. You need to get all that rust out of there. Get them nice and shiny where those clips, those hardware mount. And then put some paint on it. Next we need to do is remove our rotor. It's held on with the Phillips head screws, retainers. So place some penetrant on them, help them soak in, and then get yourself an impact driver with a Phillips on it and hit it, hopefully break them loose. And this is what the screws look like. And this is an impact driver. And then you need to hit your rotor to break it loose from the hub. Try not to hit the studs, all right? If yours is bonded on there, that's what you have to do. Mine was bonded on there, so. Anyway, get this off. Now, the hub, you need to clean this surface, get all that rust out of there, because you got to make it nice and clean so it gives you a nice true ride. If you have any high or low spots on it, it'll cause the rotor to walk back and forth, and that'll cause you a pulsation in your pedal, and you don't want that. When you got your caliper off, you need to inspect your boot and your piston and make sure there's no fluid leaking out of it, or if the boot is cracked, okay? If the boot is cracked, then you need to replace the caliper, or if there's any fluid coming out, you need to replace it, okay? And then you want to hit it with a wire brush and clean it all up inside there. And then you need to push the piston back in. Get a C-clamp, an old pad, and tighten it up and push that piston back in. Okay, the hub is nice and clean. Now you can go ahead and put a fine film of anti-seize on it. And then you can put your rotor on and line up your marks, your holes, and you can put your little fasteners back in there with your Phillips bracket nice and cleaned up. Put some paint on it. Pull out your slide pins, put some Sil Glide on them, rub it in it, twist it as you're pushing them in. Make sure you get some on the boot to help seal the boot from any water. All right, it's time to go ahead and put your front caliper bracket on. Put your hardware clips in there. Got your rotor on. Got your fasteners that hold it on. You're all set. Got the caliper bracket on, got your bolts snugged up, and then you need to torque them to 85 foot-pounds. Next you need to do is go ahead and put your pads on. This would be the outer pad. Put it in there like so. Squeeze it over here. And these act like little springs right there, and you push it, and then push that in. The inner pad, basically the same, but this one has a squeaker on it. The squeaker goes towards the rotation of the rotor. On the top. Put it in the bottom, line it up in the back, push it in a little bit that way, and squeeze it. It goes right in. Next, you have your little springs, 2 of them. They go in the little holes. Hold on. Okay, they look like that. So get them in there. So you can get your caliper on. What you need to do is squeeze these together, or caliper, but push the piston against it and push it on, okay? And you need to push your slides in also. And make sure your line, caliper brake hose is not twisted. Push it in there a little bit. Oh. Push in on the slides a little bit. And get your bolts in. Two hands. Okay, you got the caliper on, you got your bolts started, and then you need to tighten them to 25 foot-pounds, okay? And then make sure that this line is not twisted. And just do a visual inspection of your dust shield to make sure it's not hitting your rotor, because sometimes those dust shields get bent and they push against your rotor. So look around it and make sure it's not touching it. Okay, this side is done. Now you can do the other side exactly the same way. And then when you get them both done, put your tires on and your wheel covers with your lug nuts. And then you can tighten them up to 90 foot-pounds. And then you can lower it down to the ground, go inside the vehicle, start it up, push the pedal to the floor a couple times. Make sure you got a good pedal before you put it in drive or reverse. Otherwise you won't have brakes until you take up that gap on the pistons and the pads. And then double check your brake fluid level, and that will complete your job. So hopefully I helped you out with this video, and hopefully you can help me out by subscribing. Thank you.